via the government's legislative agenda is. But, well, let's just see what happens.
Hang on.
If they decide to add it all, but, oh, yep.
And good evening. We apologize for the brief interruption that we've had to the stream. Unfortunately, there's a nice big button on the YouTube homepage that says Go Live that I have failed to click. So, good evening. My name is Tony Blair. Welcome to the BBC's coverage of the state opening of Parliament. I apologize for the many technical difficulties that we have had in the past few minutes, but as I've introduced myself already, I'm Tony Blair, BBC Director General. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here this evening as we cover the state opening. What you see on your screens right now is the Houses of Parliament, where Dinar Heathcote has just been elected as Speaker and Toothless elected as Deputy Speaker. I'm also joined this evening by Michael M. Rothschild. How are you, Michael?
Terrible. How are you?
Well, I'm doing quite well, thanks, Michael. Cheer up a little bit. The BBC is back. We're doing live streams now, right? That must be a fun thing to celebrate, right?
Yes, I suppose so.
Yes. So, as I was saying, you're looking into the Houses of Parliament right now. In about 7 minutes, we expect the Black Rod to show up and summon the House of Commons to the House of Lords. What do you expect from the King's speech this evening so far, Michael?
I'm not entirely sure, but I do know that the government has hinted to a possible return of the job centre, which I'm not particularly looking forward to because it always seems to flop in its bum, doesn't it?
It has in previous time, yes. Do we expect anything from this do we expect anything notable from this pirate Social Democrat government?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I wasn't really paying attention much to the election.
Well, welcome to my world. It's going to be interesting. We're still waiting. Let's see if the Prime Minister is in the room already. I believe the seat directly behind the dispatch box is at present empty. If that is correct, yes, it is. But as we can see on the government benches, quite an assortment of both Pirate and Social Democrat members of Parliament. On the opposition benches, attendance looking a little bit more sparse. However, of course, that's not quite important yet until after the King's speech is actually read out. In the House of Lords so far, I'm not sure if our producer wants to show us that. Oh, and we hear the bugle. So as we go to the House of Lords, things are now happening. Yeah. And let's just listen in. And as we look into the hallway, as we look into the corridor that connects the House of Commons and the House of Lords, we can see some semblance of activity now as we await the King's speech. And His Majesty is in the House of Lords. As they yell at him what to say.
I don't think that's particularly nice, is it?
No, I don't believe so. As we await, we're not going to fully go to the House of Lords yet, of course. Parliamentary tradition dictates that the Black Rod will summon the House of Commons, and the doors will famously shut in front of him. Do we think we're going to get a few quips this evening, Michael, from the members of Parliament? Any Dennis Skinner type?
That's the first time I've ever heard that word, I think.
Of the Dennis Skinner type, you know, hands off the BBC.
I mean, the Dennis Skinner type would have been... No. Oh, no. I would expect Dean, after what happened this week to him. But, no, but now he's Speaker, so I don't see why he would do anything.
No Gustav Rhodes type personas in this room?
No, I don't think so.
No, okay. Well, that would be disappointing.
Not that I can see.
Okay, and as we look into the corridor now, the Black Rod is on his way to the House of Commons. And famously, that door will shut on him. And it is the House of Commons who must invite him inside. And the door is shut, and he knocks.
Oh yes.
And he is welcomed into the House of Commons. And now, let's listen in. He bows. And there have been actually quite a few quips. One has told him to pay his taxes. Might be a little bit of one of the more socialist members of parliament. And now Dinar Heathcote is going to begin to lead the House of Commons towards the House of Lords, and as we follow them on their brief pilgrimage, we will see what the King's speech has for us. So, Michael, of course, you're just recently, as of 2 weeks ago, Prime Minister. You've had to enter retirement. You're now in the House of Lords. What do you think of the election result?
I mean, it was a bit unexpected because I thought, because the general presence of the unions and their gains during the election, with the party with the largest gains, but obviously didn't have that much of an active player base anymore, probably since I left, and also what had happened to the unionists as well. But yeah, I think what we're looking at with these elections, especially the past few ones, is that the parties are all going to always get almost the same amount of seats, and we were just like, obviously we're just a couple seats away from having to have a three-way coalition. But yeah, I think at the moment we're probably going to see a divided politics. There's always, I don't think we're ever going to see a single party with a majority again, unless we reduce the number of parties in these elections.
All right, let's zoom in on him, on His Majesty, as he is about to deliver the King's speech.
We've also got Her Royal Highness Princess Margaret and His Royal Highness Prince Ismail joining the King.
Uh-huh. And we begin with media. Let's listen in.
Well, it's starting to look like it isn't just about their legislative agenda. It looks like they've just added everything. So anyone viewing, if you want, you can disconnect for about 20 minutes, hop back in. That's usually when the King's speeches are over, when the governments decide to include their whole agendas, even not legislative-wise. Or just, I guess sit back and relax, grab yourself a snack. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, they haven't really gone with their legislative agenda.
Let's listen in, right?
It's also worth noting,
which is my polite way of saying be quiet.
Hold on, they can read. I'm not speaking over anyone. What is this? National Transport. Also, I don't think people are going to read subtitles on the screen without any commentary, Tony. But it is also worth noting that sometimes governments just decide to put their entire manifesto in King's speeches because they might not have entirely strong or an entirely large legislative agenda. But it doesn't seem like this King's Speech is going well. Clearly, someone hasn't double checked whether things will tag, as we're seeing a lot of these things tag right now.
Well, what we're seeing is a lot of pirate policy, flagship policy that we are seeing. So, for instance, the microfinancing bank has been a pirate pledge for many elections up until this point, reforming the Patents Act. I recall seeing on their manifesto. As we wait and we see what else is on the King's Speech. And clearly there is already a language barrier issue.
I mean, yeah, usually governments get these things checked. I know my previous government didn't have time to check it because I myself was in hospital, and Boston was just getting off a flight from somewhere, and he had to copy and paste stuff into Google Docs. So we were pretty fortunate none of it got tagged. But
interestingly, the introduction of a nation's peacekeeping force, Commonwealth reformation, as every government proposes.
I mean, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but it will be quite interesting to see how the government is going to respond to the issues of the Commonwealth. I think the Dalhousie, I think his proposal was to make some sort of Commonwealth office, like a government department. It would be pretty interesting to see that, because I know from my time, when I went to particularly Canada and Malaysia, they weren't entirely enthusiastic about the idea. So yeah, I suppose we will have to wait and see what happens.
Mm-hmm. As we also just await a full copy of the speech. Which is likely to drop after His Majesty has delivered it. And as the speech is ongoing, if any members of Parliament or any political commentators would like to have their say on the King's Speech this evening, feel free to DM me at Tony Blair.
I am just getting someone on right now.
As more of the speech becomes tagged. Well, alas, we have now just received a copy of the King's Speech, so we are taking a look at it. We are looking at 5 pages of policy at this present moment. And it will be interesting to see.
Yeah, sorry, turn half of that.
It will be interesting to see how it is debated, the various forms of reaction from across the aisle, and we will see. And now we've moved on to the justice section, including the bar tribunal. So we are now on the second last page of the speech, for those wondering. The King's Speech protocol is different as to when I was last in Parliament. But the House of Commons is going to return to the chamber, and then we will watch various forms of debate, a humble address being proposed, and amendments to the King's Speech.
Sorry, Tony. If I can just interrupt you here. We've just seen a policy of the government wanting to gut the MOJ. This is something that I very much support because I think the MOJ is evil.
Yeah,
Thank you very
can I
much.
just butt in here? Can I just...
Yes, I'll just very quickly
introduce
him.
I can introduce him. I know him.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, it's this is Mr. Bruce Ismay. He is a Pirate MP. Hello, Mr. Bruce Ismay. How are you doing?
I'm very, very, very fine, thank you. And after I did hear most of the speech tonight, and to be honest, I'm pretty disappointed. I thought there would be a lot more ambitious stuff the Pirates would introduce tonight, and I'm honestly very disappointed. I am very disappointed.
Now, you are a Pirate Member of Parliament, yes?
Correct, I am.
So, are you going to be voting in favor of your party's King's Speech or no?
Well, you know, of course, I still have my loyalties to my party, but as of right now, I'm very upset, and I don't normally do this, but Michael, I actually do agree with Michael on this. I just don't see this King's Speech as nothing more but just, you know, uninspiring, and, you know, it just seems dull. I mean, you'd think that after this long of pirates wanting to be in the government, leading the government, they'd be ambitious, but what I've seen today is that it is just, you know, pretty bland. It's pretty bland.
Uh-huh.
In my view. And you know, I've been in Pirates since February, and I've fought and campaigned very hard for them. But to see the results that I am, it's pretty disappointing. It's not gonna. I'm not gonna lie, and well, I think we can both agree that this speech just doesn't, you know, I mean, even the Unionists under Michael had some good points in their King's Speech, which I did approve of. But as of right now,
what do you attribute to this? Why do you think this has occurred?
Well, I don't know. I think the Pirate Party's just being cautious because, you know, it's a very tight vote. It will be a very tight vote.
Is it also in part because of your coalition partner?
Well, I don't think so. I think we've gotten I think we do really well with the Social Democrats, but I just think that right now the Pirates just don't want to lose the majority. They don't want to lose any members because as of right now, it could be a tie vote or maybe, you know, one MP going because, you know, the moment that this bill fails, another, in my opinion, another election will have to be called, and I don't think anyone wants that. But you know, coming from my perspective as a former MP, I'm just very disappointed at this rate to see the government not taking any ambitious, you know, leads on this because it's just, you know, incredibly disappointing. I joined the Pirates because, you know, I thought we were ambitious, but I'm very disappointed tonight. I'm very disappointed, sadly.
I just want to bring in very quickly the British Union. He's also a former Prime Minister from the Unionist Party. How are you this evening, TBU?
Hello there, Tony. I'm fantastic. How are you?
Doing quite well, thanks. See, what is your reaction to this King's Speech? Do you agree with the things that Bruce has said?
Well, I'm having a brief look at things. I've just noticed someone's going to put committees back into statute. To be honest with you, I'm not happy about that at all. Because why on earth are you putting a parliamentary committee into law? Such a silly policy. But yeah, it doesn't seem to be all that revolutionary in my opinion. I think more probably could have been achieved in such a...
Forgive me, we are now just watching the House of Commons. The members of Parliament head back to the House of Commons now at the conclusion of their speech.
Can I just add something? Or, you know, there was some very sad news because I did actually want to run for Deputy Speaker, lads, but unfortunately, I was forced to withdraw, so that's very sad.
Forced to withdraw because?
Well, some in the coalition thought that they were just incredibly worried that the election was, the vote would be very tight, and they didn't think that I should be allowed to run. So I was told to withdraw, and honestly, I think that if Michael or even British Union agree that forcing your own member who wants to run, who might actually win this, and being forced not to, isn't that a bit undemocratic? I mean,
Well, I'd have to say, sorry, Bruce. When abouts was this? When were you told not
like
to
around
run?
2 hours before. 2 hours before.
That's quite
Okay.
interesting in my mind because there's been a lot
So
of
interesting.
it's been a lot of drama on the Social Democrat benches as well regarding whether or not Dean would even get a seat.
Yeah, and honestly, Dean is a good person. Even if you disagree with him, he's a good person, and I don't think, what the Social Democrats did, not giving him, having that debacle with not giving him a seat, it's just disgraceful.
Mhm. I just want to give some context as to where we are right now in the proceedings. We are now proposing the Outlawries Bill, which, as I quote directly from the manual given to me, preserves the right of the House of Commons to debate a subject of its own choosing. And so the Outlawries Bill is going to be read out as a formality. And then I believe we might hear from the Leader of the Opposition. As the Leader of the Opposition is away from his keyboard as we speak. But I invite our cameraman to zoom in and let's pay attention to the debate.
I just realised I left the game and I just forgot that I'm presenting as well, so I'm going to quickly rejoin.
And if we can get our camera directly on the Leader of the Opposition, that would be great, and then let's properly listen in to what he has to say about the King's speech. Or are we doing... Oh, yes, we are now debating on the address. So, was there anything notable that we saw out of this speech? Question more so for Bruce, who has said that it was relatively underwhelming. Is there anything in this speech that you thought really was ambitious and that aligned with Pirate Party policy?
Well, I think, personally, I didn't see anything truly ambitious in this, big installment of this King's Speech. Honestly, what we saw in the manifesto, I don't really see represented in the King's Speech, to be honest. And I joined the Pirates because of I thought they were being ambitious, that when we got into government, we would do something that no other government had. We would introduce legislation that would really make this country great. But I'm honestly very shocked that we were discussing it during the election about all these ideas, and most of them have not been included on this bloody manifest, bloody King's Speech. And, I'm really confused why, because Boston's in a position where he can introduce this stuff, because at this rate the King's Speech is either going to be a one member, it could be a tie for all we know. It could be a tie for all we know.
I'd like to butt in there. No one knows me, by the way. Michelle Juber. Definitely not Michelle Juber. Looking at the King's Speech, just a quick rundown here. It's a wide sweeping agenda for a one-person majority, from the idea of journalists will have a month scheme to highlight voices around the corner, to when you go down to international and Commonwealth relations, to the establishment of a 5-group influential nations that underscores the government determination to punch above its weight on the global stage.
Forgive me, we are now just going to the Member of Parliament for Lothian, so we'll turn our camera around and let's zoom in on him as he speaks, and we're going to take a look at what he has to say, and this might be, very likely in approval of his government speech.
But can they actually get this done? A 5-page King's Speech on a one-person majority?
Well, it's at this
Hold on
point
a
now,
second.
it's a
Hold on.
numbers game. Of course, this assumes that everybody will vote directly on party lines, but by that point, it's a numbers game.
Bring it up and say hello. Then you go
Oh,
back
dear
to
God.
how are you?
So on the opposition benches right now, we have 17. On the government benches right now, as I do a quick count,
It's 20 for the government.
so 20 for the government. So under the assumption that everybody is voting along party lines, this should be a King's Speech that passes handily. Of course,
be.
assuming that they
I
voted
think-
directly on party lines.
I think it's 18 now for the opposition. 18.
Sorry, Tony, could you post the King's Speech in the group chat, please?
Yes, I apologize. I will send you the full text. There have
dearly.
been glimpses of Pirate Party policy on it. I mean, we are looking at things like there was a line here regarding a microfinancing bank. That has been pirate policy for quite some time. Bruce, is that not what was the word that you used? Innovative enough for you?
Well, it is a part of our manifesto, but I think that the government should be focused on the economy, making it stronger, allowing more businesses to be grown. Because
And
I
what
know
policies did you want on that front?
policies. I think one of my friends and I were trying to make multiple businesses, trying to make businesses that would help the people of Britain more. Getting people a job, finding people a job, or trying to make this country make more people employed in this country. But I mean, the former chancellery had unfortunately declined us a few more times. So I had hoped that the government would introduce some legislation making it easier for people to register a new company, because there are a lot of good people who I know who want to register great ideas of companies, but used by the chancellery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm surprised in this
Of what-
long King's Speech, business reform is not really mentioned. The last thing I'll say, because I do need to go, is that I'll be looking to set up and hosting a show to interview some of the king and beasts behind the making of this government, because it's really, as you guys have said, a numbers game, and I do love a good set of numbers. Right, I must be off, but you'll probably be hearing more of me later in the week. Do have a
Sorry,
good
could I
evening,
just?
gents.
I'm sorry, I do have to butt in here. Just checking the numbers here, and it looks like the opposition and the government are now tied by their share of MPs.
This is going to be quite interesting, right? Because on the front of the Nationals, the question is, are you going to abstain? Are you going to pass the King's Speech? It really depends, right? Because I think all the parties have an awareness that if the King's Speech does not pass, then we are not going to an election, we are going to a Lord's government.
Well, you never know.
Well,
you never know what will happen
Sorry-
in politics.
Sorry,
just-
Bruce.
I just
Sorry,
wanna let
Bruce, hold on.
TB
Give me 1 second. Sorry, I was just going to say, yeah, Tony, you are right, and it is like I said before. Usually, both sides of the Commons, they start bringing in their people after 8 o'clock. So as we know, the government was on 15, and the opposition was on 11, and now they're basically 20 seats each now at the
I
moment.
believe so, yes. Question is, where are the other 10?
We could have Michael
But,
in the country
if-
again, which would be interesting.
No, thank you. I did say that I wanted to quit, and I mean it. Now, so I just want to introduce the leader of Westbridge Town Hall, Lord Starfish. Starfish, good evening. How are you doing?
How are you, Michael? How are you, everyone? You're doing great this
I'm doing-
evening?
I'm doing very well. So you've taken a look at the King's Speech, obviously, yes?
Okay, so here we are. Sorry, I just have to butt in really quickly. We are now moving the humble address.
Oh,
Well, that's quick.
Sorry, go ahead.
But yes, so Starfish, obviously you read the King's Speech, and well, I mean, your area of expertise is emergency services and Westbridge. But what exactly do you think of some of these policies? Do you think there's anything here that stands out to you the most? Anything that's great, or anything that would have the opposite effect? What do you think?
right. Having a look at the Home Office section, it seems like Pretty standard stuff. Few things I will go over. My government will root out nepotism in public services through a board
who's speaking?
to, review
It's Starfish.
silver and gold command promotions. I take issue.
Sorry,
with
Michael, I
that.
do have a question. Speaking, you were talking about the Lord's government. Could you explain to us what exactly?
We
what that
are
was?
just about to listen
What?
to the
Sorry,
first
hold on.
Secretary of State.
Sorry, who asked me to explain what a Lord's government is and what
That was
exactly
me.
would happen with a
That
Lord's
was me.
government? Oh, okay. Well, so what happens with a Lord's government? Obviously, if there is not a stable government, and usually this is only used for when there's like elections at such short notice and quite close to each other, the king will usually find someone in the Lords to form a government in his name, and usually this is a temporary government. But I think we've also seen from previous times when we've had Lords government, it is not really an interim government. They are able to put policies together and implement them. But yeah, this will be someone led by a Lord. They'll find cabinet ministers from the Lords as well. So that is basically what Lords government is. It's basically
So,
a usual government but from the Lords, and they're only accountable to the Lords.
yeah, so
And
exactly.
usually there aren't any Lord sessions.
Yeah, so exactly, how long would you expect the Lords to be in control, and do you expect any elections by the end of early April?
It depends how group staff feels. I mean, obviously they've had quite a nightmare handling the previous election,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
so I think they'll
Yeah,
I think they'll
also,
probably
the
ask.
The EC is really full of, I mean, the EC has a lot of good people, but I mean, the person leading the
We are
charge.
now just hearing from the leader of the opposition now.
Jesus.
But yes, like I was saying, I think probably my guess is group staff will ask the kings, and not well, they'll also do it themselves because they're group staff. But there probably won't be an election for a couple of weeks, and I know this has happened before, but group staff have used times when the government cannot be formed to implement quite significant changes in the group through Parliament. You saw when the great government of Reba Astor and Marcus Devescent, when that government collapsed,
God.
they ended up using that for making great big changes. But yeah, Starfish. Sorry, something happening?
May I just comment? I just want to move very quickly from the leader of the opposition to the very back of the chamber by the entrance. If our producer can do that really quickly.
Maggie Thatcher?
Mrs. Thatcher has arrived in the chamber. So,
Risen from the dead.
risen from the dead, Lord have mercy upon us, and
Why can
her
there
head
not be
has
any- why can they not
uncanny resemblance.
Okay, why is it
The
only
real
Mark
guy.
Rutte?
Well,
Why is there no Tony Blairs or anyone like that?
Well, it's we need to get back to Justin's policy
yeah.
before the
Back to the leader of the opposition.
night. So, Starfish, have you got
Yeah.
any comments regarding this King's speech?
Right, yeah. So there's a point. It starts out for the Home Office saying they're going to root out nepotism in public services. How are they going to do that? A board to review Silver Command and Gold Command promotions. Seems good on paper, right? Very good on paper. But I don't think that's going to work out in practice, because down the line, you're going to have nepotism in government that's going to, pick their friends to be leading services. It should be left up to the services, not the government. Right, what else? There was
Well,
something
I will
about...
say, Star. Well, whilst
What?
you try and find that, Star, I will say it is fair what you said, but I do know from speaking with Boston before was that there may still be some nepotism left in the London Fire Brigade.
Right,
But I suppose, well, if this King's speech passes, we'll just have to see how they respond to it. But
right.
yes, go on, Starfish. What else?
Yeah, on the point of LFP, that is a fair point, because during my tenure, it had problems, and then Inky Master finally got around to it, but it's not fully
Inky
sorted
Man,
out.
do not confuse Inky Man with Mong Master. That's
What?
unacceptable, Starfish.
Inky Master.
Mong
What?
Master 664.
Oh no,
is
they have the
absolutely
oh
not, yeah.
him. Oh right. Right. What else is here? Michael.
Actually, I will say, because the lead. Sorry, Hollenstar. I will say, because the leader of the opposition has just brought it up, I think I can safely say that this saving 10% of the budget for future spending, that won't work, because governments have tried doing that before,
Yes.
where
No,
they
it
put
won't
it
work.
in a reserve, and group staff said, no, you can't do that. And we end up
Can't
losing
do
quite a lot of the
it.
vote bucks, didn't we? Yeah,
We're
so,
just
that-
watching
Right.
now. Sorry, Michael. We're just watching now. The
Yep.
leader of the National Party. Is, what?
This will be interesting.
Speaking
Well,
of the
and it's
National
go-
Party,
And it's going to be interesting to see what happens, because of course we are beyond aware. We know that the official opposition will vote against. We know that the government will vote for it, obviously. Whether or not it's on party lines, that's the question. The real question is going to be the National Party.
yeah,
Right.
speaking as a former national, can I just
Oh
have some
my-
input here?
Yes, go ahead, Bruce.
Yeah, look,
Make it quick, because we've still got Starfish.
would you like to do something, Starfish?
Just
Oh, no, you
go
can
ahead.
speak
No,
now,
no,
Bruce.
no,
Just
no,
make it
go on.
quick.
Okay, so as a former
Take as long as you
national,
need.
look, as a former national, I think the Nationals, in my view, will vote. You know, honestly, I think I think when I was in the National Party, it was a bit democratic. It was very democratic, and members got a say on what they did. You know, and
Boring. Sorry, carry on.
Michael, please.
So
But,
I
look,
don't like democracy
Okay,
all that much.
let's just go ahead, Bruce. Come on.
Well, thank you. But honestly, I don't. In my view, the Nationals might probably vote no, because I think
And I think we're seeing that.
yeah, I think we are seeing that because I think what the government when they heard the King's speech, I think their minds just clicked and they said, nope, this doesn't work for us. I believe that they would have abstained if the King's speech would have been a bit better in my view, but I just don't think that hasn't happened. So I believe Stuart might vote no. So, but what we are now seeing is that it will be a tie as of currently. It will likely be a tie, and
Well, we've
as
just
Michael
got two
stated earlier,
unionist MPs.
it
Oh,
will
and
be
a
likely-
third one as well. Oh wait, hold on, and a oh my goodness.
Unionist, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
No.
If I may
my
just allow Bruce.
HRH has done
Speak.
something here.
Okay, so it looks like. Oh wait, hold on,
There's
and
another
we've
one.
got a
There's
fifth.
another one.
We've got a
Here,
fifth
oh
coming
my-
in.
Oh my
There's another one. What has happened?
Oh,
Oh my
just-
god, the bill has
Forgive
failed.
me.
Bill has failed.
I just want to allow Bruce to continue
Oh
speaking. I
my
apologize.
days.
Yes, just speaking about the recent increasing of the unionists and I don't see a lot of social democrats here tonight, but anyway, the point is this bill is going to fail. Unfortunately, even though as a
Yep, looks
pirate
like it. I
MP,
think-
am
I
speaking from the
Expects
heart
its
here.
government.
Michael,
I'm speaking from the heart here, Michael. Please,
I'm just agreeing with
you can do
Bruce.
this in debates. You can do this in debates, but let me have my say.
It
Okay,
isn't.
I've
Oh,
been
no, I wasn't debating. I was agreeing. I was agreeing
Michael,
with you,
let the
Bruce.
bloody man speak.
Thank you.
Fucking
Yeah, I'm
hell.
I
sorry.
am letting him speak, but he's trying to talk to me. I was just trying to make sure that he's okay.
I'm sorry. That was my bad. But anyway, the point is that as a former member of parliament, I can say with certainty that this bill is going to fail. With the increased unionist vote, they now have a majority of 3. The bill will fail even with, the Pirate Party and Social Democrat coalition do really need a saving grace to win this election.
King's speech.
You
Yo.
know what? Yeah, you're absolutely right, Bruce. And speaking as someone who is really a politics anymore, I will have to say I was disappointed with the unionists with their out, but it seems like what they've pulled here is something from the Callum Cathcart book. I remember when I was his opposition leader, and at the last minute he just brings in a bunch of MPs, and it's like, oh my goodness, it is quite frustrating. But if we can continue looking at this King's Speech, and Starfish and Dibu and our other guests, please feel free to
Now.
write in. But yeah, as we've just discussed, this policy of reserving 10% of the budget, it won't work. The group staff won't have it. You either
Michael,
spend the money
mate.
or you don't.
Michael.
Yeah,
Michael.
that's
Yes?
absolutely true.
yo,
because I did try,
yeah.
myself to try and see if we can do something about that. Not happening.
Oh,
There's one policy I do want to talk about. I've noticed here. They want to establish a city council in Northern Ireland with the mayor. So basically, they're just instituting a local council now on top of the mayorship. The whole point of the mayorship was to avoid some parliament or whatever assembly of just morons. So it just seems another step backwards, really, in the process of devolution.
Can I
Yes,
just have
yes,
Bruce.
TBU. Oh, sorry, yeah, Tony.
Can I just have Bruce really quickly? He
Yeah,
had
go on.
what the
trivia.
fuck?
Careful,
Mate,
we have Ofcom,
Whoa,
right?
whoa, Starfish, you cannot swear on stream.
I got
I heard
my
my name.
point.
You heard something?
I got my point. Right?
All
I
right,
got
okay,
my-
Starfish, you seem pretty desperate. Tony, let's let him speak. He really wants to say
No,
something.
because this is Home Office. This is
That-
this
that-
is big.
Okay, so I'll
Right.
get Bruce and then I'll get Starfish. How's that?
Oh, right, you dash fine. Go on,
Both of you
Bruce.
be
Go
quick,
on.
please.
What's your
Go
question?
on.
Nope.
What? Oh, okay. Right. I got two things I just want to quickly go over with the Home Office section because we got a lot of listeners from the services. My government will democratise Public Servant of the Month. So that's going to involve voting for people, I imagine. The problem with that is friend groups. Fucking, they can hijack the system where the people getting the prize are part of friend groups. They're always getting voted for that. So it's not really that fair. So it should be left up to command. Right, where's the final thing? The inspector.
Well, yeah, start on that point. Actually, on that point, you are absolutely right in saying that because I actually speak to Boss Friendship Group.
I think we've got issues with your microphone, Michael.
King's Speech to get you a new
Working in the
fucking
service,
mic,
pretty unfair.
Jesus.
Boston. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah. Go
I'm
on.
sorry. I'm sorry. Can you hear me properly?
Get the
No.
PlayStation working.
No.
No, we can't.
Michael,
Okay,
while
hold
you
on.
fix your
I'll just-
microphone, I want to let Bruce speak.
Wait, no. There's one final thing.
Oh, Jesus.
Before I shut
Oh my
up.
god.
Right. I have been interrupted so many times now. This has never happened on the
Get on
podcast.
with it.
No,
Right.
I just wanted to address one of your points
Okay.
because you're right in saying that because Boston did say that the LFB is being run by a friendship group. So whether they actually will crack down on this nepotism fully, I think you're right in saying that voting for Public Servants of the Month simply won't work.
Yeah, again, a good on paper idea, but during my tenure, we learned, you can't have these kind of policies because you can't really go through with them. With the inspectorate, I just got a simple criticism. Why are you even touching it in the first place? It should be dismantled. It's useless nowadays, and you're not going to bring it back to its former glory. It doesn't do anything. It's not useful. Just leave it up to the services. And may I comment, finally, that His Royal Highness Funky Monkey has made a brilliant play tonight, and I thought that was pretty funny. Go on, Mr. Bruce. Go on. That's
Okay.
me done.
Do you want me to ask a question? Do you want me to answer a question, or do you want me just to comment?
What are your...
Bruce, you wanted to say something, I believe.
Yeah. Look, I guess I have to say that this is a very disappointing night for the Pirate Party. I'm more of an idealist in my view, but I just want to make everyone aware that as a pirate, I'm always open for
Drac is gone.
constructive. Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm always open to constructive criticism about the party, and when I do constructive criticism, I always put country first. I always put the country first. So what I've seen from the Pirate Party tonight is incredibly disappointing. As a member who has campaigned over the past couple of elections for the Pirate Party, I am truly, truly disappointed with the election and sorry,
So-
the vote. So sorry,
I'll
the
ask
King's Speech.
I'll ask you again, Bruce. Are you voting in favor of the King's Speech, or are you joining the opposition?
Well, I guess you have to wait and see. I'm just gonna say that.
Is that a decision that'll come in the coming moments? Because that
will
might
be,
put an even further wrench. I should also note I've reached out to the Deputy Prime Minister, the leader of the Social Democrats, for his commentary on it. We've heard nothing from him. So, Hierarchy, if you are listening, please feel
Yeah,
free to open up your DMs with RX Tony Blair and actually provide us a constructive response. Thanks.
Yeah. Sorry. What is this next? What's the vote about to happen here, or is it just the amendment or the actual King's Speech?
Bold of you to assume that I've been paying attention to that. I believe we are hearing from an opposition member of parliament first. And then I think we are going to vote on amendments.
It's
Don't quote me on
20. There's 20 people on the government benches and 22 on the opposition. As
Yeah,
we
I
speak.
think it does look like a bunch of Unionist MPs have left. From what I've been told, was that it is
Yeah.
an operation, an ongoing operation, and they did it a bit too early, but they're gonna redo it right before the vote. It looks like.
Really
So
good.
so
Wait, Pokemon's here. The Chancellor's here. It's now 21, I assume. Or was he here
okay.
beforehand? I don't know.
I just want to add one more person, but keep talking while I'm busy.
Yeah.
That is,
So, from what
I'm
I've seen, HRH has pulled a move for the people who didn't see it.
They've done it
Oh
again.
no, they're back. So what you've just seen is they've all came in late to shock the government benches, who were probably assuming they were going to pass this night. But with the increase in unionists, I think this is a very good PR move for them. And I don't see this bill passing now. But GG, well played.
Can I add comment on this?
Yes, go ahead.
So, honestly, I think that the government is going to be very shocked with this recent development with the extra unionist members. So I do think they might. Now, I don't know for sure, but they might, do a revote and see if they can get it passed. But I'm just saying this here and now. I'm not getting this from anyone. I'm just thinking that if they can't get it passed, they might try again and again. But we have no clue as of this moment. We have no clue at this moment on what exactly this government will do, because if this coalition collapses and members vote against for the King's Speech, this would be really damning, not only for the Social Democrats but for also the Pirates as well, because I think the Pirate Party definitely has a lot of good qualities. Even though some people may disagree.
Forgive me. I just have to butt in. I'll go back to you in just a second, and I apologize.
No
The
problem.
opposition and the leader of the opposition has now just proposed its amendment to the humble address. And so I believe there is going to be a motion to vote now on whether or not that amendment shall be accepted.
The opposition has now got another MP.
What's abuse of a motion to vote? What?
Oh, I believe we do have a cabinet minister.
Oh, how exciting! Where's the
Uh,
cabinet? Oh,
But in the meantime, I apologize, Bruce. I just have to introduce our next guest. And I apologize, Starfish and everybody else. Pokezilla369 is a government backbench member of Parliament for Lothian. How are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing quite well, thanks. So what is your reaction to the King's Speech? Is this the kind of thing that you want to see from the government that you're a part of?
I mean, I'm going to be honest. It's pretty unremarkable, but I think every King's Speech is unremarkable because
You're now
politics
the
is.
fourth person we've heard from today that said that.
Because I'm not. It's not like a diss towards the government. It's just the fact that in politics at the moment, every single King's Speech is unremarkable because it has to be. because
Now,
you can't promise enough because Northminster's not out yet. So
perhaps I
Yeah.
can get some insight from the Social Democrat HQ, because your party leader has a particular vernacular for disliking me.
Are you shitting yourself? Are you?
am I shitting
Oh,
myself?
Yes, I
No,
think
that's
that's the correct. I think
warning.
that's the correct
Cannot
question
go
to
on
ask.
My fault.
Does the Starfish? Does the government believe that they can pass the King's Speech this evening? Do the Social Democrats believe that they'll remain in?
I'm sure Hierarchy's shitting himself. I'm personally not because I'm not someone who cares much about that stuff anymore. But
I got
yes,
a question.
I'm sure he's shitting himself.
Yeah, big fat question from me. What was the initial reaction from the government when the unionists pulled their stunt? What was the reaction? What happened?
I honestly think there wasn't much reaction as far as I was aware. I think.
So you didn't
I mean,
react.
I don't react. No, because it's a move I've seen before. I've seen that move
Right.
plenty of times. It's like
definitely under the Callum Cathcart government.
definitely on the Cathcart go. I've seen that before.
Well,
I've seen that little
in
trick.
HRH's defence, I think he's done it a lot better because he's brought them in all at once rather than only a few over time. So pretty good stunt from him. Just a final
Overwhelms
question
everyone.
from me. Just a final question from me. If this does fail,
Mhm.
what's your opinion on the Lord's government? What's the opinion of the Social Democrats on that?
I think. I mean, I'm not. I can't be considered like a massive voice for Social Democrats because I'm not really like massively up in the hierarchy anymore like I used to be. But personally, for me, a Lord's government is what I view as an indictment of the state we're at in politics, which is that it is so. I can't swear on it, can I? It's so.
Yeah, you
It's
can.
just.
Is that William Marina who's speaking now?
No.
May
It's not
I just
William,
tell
is it?
everyone? May I just tell everyone?
No, it's
The
Milliam
opposition-
Moina.
The opposition have just gained another person for the Nationals.
Let's just listen in very quickly and see what is likely the final speech before the vote on this amendment.
Michael is adapted for us, mate. Look at him.
The pressure is
No.
getting worse.
Oh, good heavens.
What are you
Can I just
adapting
ask
to
a
adapt
question
it?
about the King's Speech? So,
Oh.
my kind of question is: you mentioned governments, King's speeches to be unremarkable these days in general. Would you say this King's Speech is mostly kind of policies of reverting back to what we had, just in a different language? I think that's the kind of theme I'm seeing. Putting committees back into law,
Quite a
making
lot of it.
council.
Yeah.
I mean,
This one is.
to be fair to you, I am seeing a few policies that do seem a bit destructive. I mean, this proposal of the Competition Act of 2025. I mean, you remember I did some. Oh, hold on, what's going on here? Hold on, guys. If we look at the national.
Look at the clerk and the national benches.
Ooh,
What might be happening.
handbags are being thrown.
Okay.
I
hang
just
on,
want
hang on.
your friends.
Deep state.
Just
Hang on. Deep state intervention.
Okay, quiet.
Move someone from the
Sorry.
backbenches.
Okay, quiet.
Sorry,
I
can
just really, friends,
anyway,
because I
really
made a
quickly,
mistake.
because I need
Okay.
to make
Person
sure
was
that
right.
just Starfish, just hold on for a minute.
My fault.
I need to make sure that everybody on this on the panel has their input. I just want to go to Bruce really quickly, because he's decided how he wants to vote on the King's Speech.
Ooh.
Okay, go on.
I will be voting no.
Oh no!
And I will be voting aye for the amendment.
So
My
here
God,
we
guys.
go. We've got the amendment that's being presented by the unionist leader. So we're going to the amendment first. So this is the amendment that basically tells His Majesty that the House of Commons does not have confidence in the government. So this is
And I
going
will
to
be
be a
voting-
very
and I will be
interesting.
voting for aye. I will be voting aye for this
So
amendment.
so that makes the calculus even more difficult for.
Romano, here we go,
Uh,
Mr. Bruce voting with the opposition. Here we go.
Honestly, I'm doing this because it's the right thing to do, and as I said earlier, I will always do what I believe is the right thing to do. And tonight,
Wait.
I have to vote no.
So
Wait. Can we get a reaction from Zilla, please? A reaction from him, the government.
Oh,
Pope
What was
Zilla,
Zilla,
it?
what do you
yes.
think of the recent developments?
Damn, this crazy, bro. That's my
Oh, it's all going downhill.
All right, yeah, and the Nationals are also voting for it as well.
Oh god.
as our
Here we go.
WASD has been pressed hard here, ladies and gentlemen.
Right, the big question is if the backbenchers are being listened, are they going to, like, you know...
well, the question
What am I doing?
is
There is
Oh,
one
this is-
national AFK and one government fund. Oh, never mind, there's just
No.
one national.
no. So then the
National
question
AFK,
is,
one
this is what makes the calculus of the amendment interesting, because it's a two-step process for the opposition. Number one, they have to vote in
Who's
favor of the
trying to kill me?
amendment, and then
Oh,
number
no.
two, they need to pass the King's Speech
Why is
as
it
amended.
trying to kill me? What a fool.
Who's trying to kill you?
Right, may I just comment?
This is like
The
Will
behaviour from the
Victorian,
clerk,
also
the
known as
behaviour from
Bud
the clerks
Spencer.
has been disgraceful.
This is deep
Absolutely.
state.
Yeah,
It's deep
I-
state. It's the
They-
deep state.
They removed a national backbencher, so maybe Persian and ZC Investor was right. You know, these fucking
ZC
deep state
Investor were
agents are
right,
trying to...
absolutely.
Well, let's
Thompson was right.
take a look. We don't have exact numbers on the vote so far.
I have
Incoming.
numbers. I have numbers.
We don't
Yeah,
want
numbers.
numbers.
We-
Just
I-
make
I-
it very
I-
clear.
I-
We don't want.
24 people in the I lobby, and there are 21 in the nose.
Just to be very clear, we do not want numbers until they're official. We are not speculative. This is the
Well,
BBC.
no,
We
I
are
can-
going. We are
Yeah.
going to
Oh
wait.
my god.
We are
Tone.
going.
Quick announcement from
I
the
can
Alpha
see it on the
Caucus, they're saying
monitors.
there's
I
no
can
I
bet
understand that you
£15
can see
right
it. I
now.
understand that you can see it. We are the British Broadcasting Corporation. We wait for the clerks to provide the numbers to the chamber.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
as
yeah,
it
shut
has
the
been-
fuck up.
Oh my god.
Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Let you get told.
The count is presently underway, and it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. It can go really either way as we're looking
May I just comment?
internally.
I saw someone go to the A lobby after they all got frozen. It'll probably go to a revote. That is disgraceful.
Oh my
Oh.
goodness.
Mate, I'm so
What
glad
fun.
I'm not speaker for this. I'm so glad I'm not speaker for this. Holy moly.
So, as the members of Parliament return to the chamber, we are now waiting for the result of that vote.
Oh yeah, we are, aren't we? Sorry, Tony. Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
And so I thank our contributors and the
Wait.
very lively debate that we've had over the past moment, but I just want to have that be quiet for a second and let's listen into the results of the vote. The ayes to the right are, and this is on the amendment, just to be very clear to our viewers, this is what the opposition wants to pass.
Ooh.
Three
was it?
ayes.
Passes.
Question is,
I'm telling
The
you,
nose
the
to the
amendment,
left.
the amendment has passed.
Why she blushes?
well,
Have you done that?
20.
Thank
20.
you. 20. So the vote has been confirmed 3 times.
Wait, do they switch sides now like Marcus did? They all jump over sides like Marcus' government. Come on,
Probably.
let's see what
So
happens.
now the question is, the humble address to His Majesty is amended. Now the job for the House of Commons, and more so for the opposition, is to pass the humble address as amended to
Oh, yeah, humble
indicate
address.
that the government does not have confidence, or
In-
sorry, the House of Commons does not have confidence in the government.
In simple terms, what this means is HOH has basically hijacked the King's speech to make it
Yes.
his, and he will try form a government now with the Nationals.
It's basically what if like Marine did with Marcus. That's basically what this is.
Yeah,
In
so
all intents and
if it is
purposes.
successful, you'll all
Marcus
see them
was
switch
great
sides, and you'll see Prime Minister HOH Funky Monkey.
Yeah, can I just give some input on my vote?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
so I voted aye because I believe the opposition is right, and honestly, this government is.
Yes,
in
just
look,
to say as well, the government, I mean, opposition's just had 2 more MPs join. I think this is it.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
God.
now I'm
Oh.
voting for aye. I'm voting aye again because this country needs, leaders who can actually provide some ambition. And Boston Man 18 is a good man. He
Is
a good
that
man.
the National Party to you? Is that the Unionist Party to you? The Party of Ambition now?
It's probably the
Well-
Nationals because he's been national before.
Well, yeah, I think the Nationals are ambitious. I think the Unionists, when I read the manifesto, had some ambition too. I'm not gonna lie, but look, if I'm get kicked out of Parliament for doing what's right, then go ahead, kick me out.
Oh,
But,
Bruce, wait, Bruce. Have you got any
As
DMs
we
from any government officials yet? Have you got any angry DMs yet?
As
Yes,
we
I have been
await
called
once
traitor.
again
I have
for
been
the
called
traitor by
result,
multiple- Can I just finish what I was gonna say?
yes, go on,
Yeah.
Mr. Bruce.
and then
I have
yeah.
been called a traitor and
And who called you a
I've been
traitor?
called the C word. I have been called the C word.
Who
And,
did that?
and
Who?
who's called you those things?
Savvy.
What
has
a
called me.
fucking prick! That's unbelievable.
Right, just as we apologize to our younger viewers
My fault. I
for the
forgot.
issues that we've had.
Sorry, mate. All the younger
had
viewers, mate.
regarding
Come on.
The
My
use
fault.
of
Right,
profanity.
Once this
Do
vote has been
you want me to
I would
send
like to
it?
say
Do
something.
you want me to send it? I have it right here.
Yeah.
Yes, well, go ahead. We can put
I'm
provide
sending it now. I'm sending
depending
it now.
on what is PG, we can put it on the screen, and it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, it is
No.
going to be interesting.
I think
Stop
we
this.
have avoided a Lord's government. Oh, what is this? Let's see. Traitor, such censored behaviour. Besides the fact that Boston have you and a second chance, a third chance, and a 1,000th chance. What's the second one?
This
What's
is
the
going.
second one?
So this is quite interesting. The members of Parliament are returning to the chamber. So if I could just ask our political team and commentators
Actually, like,
to just shush for a quick second as we
Yeah,
await
shut
the
up.
results.
Shut up,
Okay.
Michael.
was,
Shut up, Michael.
I
Shut
would
up, Michael.
like to
Shut up,
I
Michael.
would like to say
Shut
something
up.
after they announce the vote, if that's okay.
Yeah, here we go. The eyes to the right. I think we know which way this is going to go. We are 23 eyes to the right.
Let's see. Hang on.
Oh, now they're calling me a disgrace. Now they're calling me a
This is
disgrace.
the actual King's Speech vote. The noes to the left are.
see.
So remember, the opposition needs to pass this.
Oh,
20.
Oh, Communist
The
HRE.
government. So the government has lost confidence. The government has lost confidence.
My desk has a hole in it.
Oh. Which sides?
So the humble
Let
express.
Michael speak. Let Michael speak. Michael,
Hold on.
please.
Yeah, so obviously my analysis of the situation is obviously Boston has been it is unfortunate for Boston because even after what happened between my government, I didn't blame Boston for it. I mean, like I said before, the Pirates really do value party democracy over the leader being able to make executive decisions. But it looks like Boston he's been done in. And it was expected because Pirate MPs do have a history of not really showing up to Parliament all that much. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with Boston really. But yeah, it is pretty much unfortunate. And although I can smell the irony from my own previous experience, I am really I'm upset for Boston. But yeah, this is a decision that's been made by the Pirate Parliamentary Party. They chose to go into an election. They chose to have another King's Speech, and it hasn't worked out in their favour. And now Boston is paying a heavy price for it. I really do feel sorry for the guy. He had a lot of ambition and ideas. But yeah, that is the current state at the moment.
I will just say, I've seen a message pop up in the Pirate Party political channel where has anyone seen this? I'll send this to me in a group chat. There you go. Now this is surprising me because this is from SLP, who last time, I mean, this is the first time the Pirates and SD together have not have failed in passing the King's Speech. They did it under Lytton. Lytton did a coalition with Shan and failed. But SLP then, after that time where it failed, he blamed the Social Democrats. And to be fair, can I blame him? Not really. But
I mean, what
this
I
time
can
he's not
say-
going to
this
Social,
is-
he's going for Unionists.
Yeah, I mean, what I can say about this is that Slurp obviously, I don't.
Oops,
think
Slurp.
he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't really. Yeah, this is the one that made the announcement in the Pirate Party.
Oh, yeah,
channel.
I did,
So,
yeah.
I don't think. I think he's doing now damage to his own party because it doesn't seem like he's making it look like they're not willing to accept responsibility for how things went down last night.
I am just getting comment and reaction right now from the Chief Secretary to the Treasury. And it reads as follows. This King's Speech failed because the Foreign Secretary didn't bother getting into the game, and another Member of Parliament airing us while being online. The most fault lies on Bruce for defying the whip and bringing this country into an unstable period. So can I just go really quickly, because of course you are name dropped, Bruce. Can I get your reaction on that, please?
Well, I'm not surprised that people are gonna call me out for doing the right thing, but I kind of expected this. But honestly, I don't care. I don't care what what people say. I did the right thing. I did the right thing, and I voted my conscience. So if they want to whinge and moan, they're gonna whinge and moan. Go ahead.
Oh, Bruce, you're being ejected from the House of Commons. Yeah, you're being
and now
ejected, mate.
he's just
yeah,
been
Yeah,
ejected.
Oh no! Oh no!
So I think he's going to have you.
Dude, don't wave at him while he's going out, mate.
How
have you done
do
that?
we wave? How do we wave?
Now, this is very interesting because we're in an era with very little MP protections. No. Or
Yeah,
sorry,
yes,
very
I
little
think- I
backbencher
think-
protections.
Well, yeah, I
The
mean,
Prime
from
Minister
what I was
here?
saying before, this is the exact issue that happened with the Pirates and what happened to Boston. It's that there are other people that unfortunately surround Boston who are not really giving the greatest advice to him. I mean, even if you look at the Pirate Party channel in the UK server, you can clearly see that the chairman has already spoken on behalf of Boston, whether it was authorized or not. They're refusing to take responsibility for what happened. I mean, if we can take a look, I think the clerks have already taken attendance for Parliament, but yeah, from what I'm hearing is that the opposition may have a chance to propose their own King's Speech tonight, and then we will see a new government formed with the Unionists and possibly the Nationals. I assume it's the Nationals. They might
Yeah,
actually form a government
Nationals.
tonight.
Well,
I'm
and
not-
the
I
other
don't think
question
the
is,
king-
What?
Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
almost done. I'll just say this quick point. I don't think the king is particularly enthusiastic about having another election because I think it will also probably just mean a Lord's government. And we all saw what happened last time. We just had Benjamin Henley do nothing, pose some committee that hasn't done anything, and it died pretty quickly.
Actually, mate,
yeah.
actually, you know, he appointed Mark as cabinet office secretary. So yeah,
that's
you can
true.
you can
That was
you
the
can
only
hold
good-
that.
May I just announce? I'm back, everyone. May I just announce? I've got my chippy. It is chips, sweet and sour chicken with fried rice, and a bottle of Pepsi Max with
Hopefully, mate.
3 scallops.
Wait, what?
Scallops, mate. That's quite posh.
Scallops, you know, the potatoes and batter.
That's quite high up for you, Starfish. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Scallops are fish,
Right.
mate, not
Wait.
potato.
Can someone fill me in while I've been gone?
forgive me, Bruce has just been told to get out despite his attempt of filing a point of order.
Yeah.
Oh.
I had a point of order.
Wait. By the
Just-
speaker?
Both by the speaker and by the clerk.
Oh, for what? For what? What'd you do? What'd you do, Bruce?
Yeah, Mr.
Crossing the
Speaker.
floor.
Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, I'm defecting to Nationals.
Oh. You know.
I
Yeah,
saw. I put it at that.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay, then.
you did say that. You did. In fairness, you did say that. But
Can I have some? Can I like? We should. You know what we should do, right? We should bring 9bet back. I
Oh,
would
it's gonna
so
be
much on
another
9bet.
election. It's gonna be another election.
I was
I think
actually.
It's another election, so we are going
Oh,
to
that's-
We are
another
going into a
election,
Lord's
Ben.
government.
So
Yay!
we
Boo!
don't
Boo!
officially know.
Boo!
Okay, so
Boo!
as
even
we
do that.
maintain our composure as the BBC, Boston Man has just declared that he is going to go to another election. The question is, which group staff looks at, if you have an dysfunctional parliament that has been inept at forming a government, then the only logical solution is for group staff to go into a Lord's government. I think it's
Well,
very naive of the House of Commons to believe that they
you are
can go to another election when in reality they are going to be going to a Lord's government.
Tony, you
Can
are
I just
wrong
add
in saying that because there is an act of parliament. It's like the Elections Act or something. The king does have the final say in whether an election can be called, even if the humble address has failed. So I think
Can
you know
I just interrupt
either.
you?
Sorry, hold on. Yeah, 1 second. The king is either going to have a Lord's government formed because I don't think group staff will want another election, or
I
he is going
agree.
to allow. He is going to appoint Harold as prime minister if he can secure a coalition with the Nationals.
May
But
I
yeah,
just?
those are the two options. TBU, what did you want to say?
What I wanted to say was I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Charles Stewart, who is recovering from brain surgery. He's a true patriot of this country. We must
Patriot.
give him a bit of best
Patriot.
luck possible. And just on this, I think I have to agree. It's pretty naive to assume though he was getting another election. It should be a Lord's government at this point. Let's get some people who can actually hold down an administration for 2 weeks or whatever.
May,
Yeah, that's my view on it. I think it's naive for another election. I
That's a
think getting
question.
Lord's government-
may I
Sorry.
just say
Giggle
that,
starfish.
you know, even if you think the Lord's government is undemocratic, I think everyone agrees that there needs to be serious electoral reform because we are ending up with parliaments like this where it's
Yeah,
split
agree.
4 ways.
Yes, I
Um,
agree.
Don't turn
What-
this into a platform for
no,
electoral
no,
reform,
no,
please. Nobody wants to hear it.
No, I'm just gonna say, Ben Henley tried it when he was Lord's government, but his little committee fell apart. So
yeah.
I'm hoping whoever's the prime minister, if a Lord's government is formed, that they actually get something done about elections, or Sid gets something done, because we need to see majority governments again, because this is pathetic, in my opinion.
Can I just like ask a question, right? Are we going to see a return to that? Do you remember when? I think it was it? I think it might be you, Michael. It was either Michael or someone else. It's like there's an election period, whereas Callum and Teaspoon, and they were like basically one party functioning as one party in an election, and it was like the Pirates and Unionists functioning as like another party.
Yeah,
It was basically. Yeah, are we seeing a return to this, but just like the Pirates and SD versus Nationals and Unionists? Is that
Yeah,
what
I
it's
think
going
that's
to
what-
be?
Hold on, we've
I believe
got
we
an update. It looks like the Unionists and the Nationals have a coalition ready. The leader of the opposition, leader of the Unionist Party, is speaking in Parliament right now, and he is saying that the
Nice.
Unionists and Nationals are ready to form a government.
Michael.
Yeah.
This
Yep.
is
Yeah, can I
very
just-
similar to ZC Investors' case, where you actually got invited to form a government following the collapse of Nationals and SD. So I think we
I think
are
that was
seeing a
actually
repeat
me,
of that.
Starfish.
Oh, what? Yeah, you. But no one likes you. We all remember Michael, mate. So we are seeing a big fat repeat of that, in my eyes.
Yeah,
Fucking
it
chili's so
appears
good.
likely. I don't know whether the law will actually allow them to, because there's a thing about the midterm coalitions, like Collapsion Act, whatever it is, that prevents these sort of things from happening. I don't know what will happen, in all
I can't lie.
honesty.
When it comes to
Um,
elections, I don't think law or precedent is really followed in cases like
oh,
these.
well, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
There are varying levels of precedent regarding Lord's governments and
Sorry, can I just butt in
things
here
of
for
the
those?
sort. Yes, go ahead.
Well, I've been getting a lot of heat in my DMs for what I did, but I think what people need to realize is that I'm kind of a free spirit kind of person. I do what I like, but people have been saying I'm a traitor. Some people have been saying that I'm a disgrace. I don't think so at all, because honestly, I've done the right thing, and the election. I mean, even without my vote, it would still have failed. So are you going to put all the blame on me? I mean, can you put the blame all?
I gotta say, he's got a point.
Well, it's
Exactly.
And-
going It'd be quite interesting to
my
see.
vote didn't matter at all. My vote didn't matter at all because
Exactly.
even if I had voted
A
aye,
bit, but not was
Well,
deciding.
Right.
It did matter, but not like it wasn't like a decider.
Right. So
We are waiting on the king.
the House is about to be
Oh, Jack has a statement.
adjourned.
Oh, never mind.
The House is adjourned. That's the end of the session.
Oh,
I
is
just
it?
want to
Okay.
get a few more minutes of analysis and commentary before we end off this stream in about 8 minutes or so. For those of you who are just joining us, the amended King's Speech has passed. So for those of you who are not so politically inclined, that implies that the House of Commons has lost confidence in the government. The Prime Minister has requested His Majesty the King for a new election, whilst the Leader of the Opposition says that he is ready to form a government between himself and the National Party. We await the response from His Majesty, and we see we see what option he chooses to take. There is the option of a new election, allowing the Unionist Party and the National Party to form a coalition government. Or, of course, there is the other option of a Lord's government. So that will be quite interesting to see as the Chamber is presently taken over.
Right. I think it's only fair we get a recap of events tonight. So,
I've been abducted by a clown.
it started out with quite divided, but the government had the numbers. Then it narrowed out to even, and then HRH pulled his stunt and ended up with an opposition majority. And now we see an amended King's Speech, and now we have to see what the King says. But going forward, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Lord's government to get some electoral reform done, because
By the way,
that is
just saying-
seriously needed.
yeah. Something quickly, right? Are we? Is Northern Ireland going to get an election anytime soon? Doesn't fucking seem like it.
Fuck no. I don't
Sorry.
think so.
I'm
Because
just a bit
Sorry,
disappointed.
swearing for the younger viewers.
Sorry, I'm just going to say because I'm going to probably get off now. But I was just going to say it is a bit disappointing that the government is not accepting responsibility for having a lack of attendance. I mean, I'm sure many of us can remember there was a time, Tony, I'm sure you'd remember this as well when you were with Dean, because it was that long ago when we had every single political party bringing every single MP down. And since then, I think it started within the last 2 years. TB, I'm sure you'd know this as well.
Oh, absolutely,
that,
yes.
Every party has, at some, I'm not gradually. That's the word. Have gradually relaxed on how many MPs they want to bring, and it does seem like the government was, being pretty cocky with their attendance, thinking that the unionists aren't going to show up in the numbers that they've got, and look what's happened.
Right. So that we're just trying to see if the Deputy Prime Minister wants to come on, and provide his commentary on the course of events. But that's going to be quite. I doubt that's going to be happening. So pay
I keep thinking
attention.
he's a woman.
Pay attention to the BBC News Twitter channel. We will continue to provide live updates and live posting as we await the response from His Majesty as to whether or not we are indeed going to another election. This begins the end of our broadcast. I'd like to thank all of our contributors, panelists and commentators this evening. Starfish, Michelle Dewberry, I can only think of the display name. Pokezilla, Michael, Mr. Abuse, TBU.
Have you reached out to Michael? Not Michael, Boston. About a comment?
We are.
He's deployed, isn't he? He's literally deployed in the military or something.
Yes, something to that accord. So unfortunately, we cannot. But I'd like to thank all of our contributors for their work this evening as we begin to end off our stream. Again, pay attention to the BBC Twitter channels, and we will continue to provide up-to-the-date information on whether or not we are indeed going to a new election, ushering in a new government, whether that be comprised of either commoners or lords. So, from all of us here at the BBC, this is our first stream back since becoming Director General. My name is Tony Blair, and on behalf of everybody here in Westminster, in London, and across our panel, I'd like to wish you all a very good evening, and thanks for joining us.
Goodbye.
Bye.